Well, good morning and welcome back to the World Bowls Tour's 2019 Scottish International Open, hosted by Live Active here at the Dewars Centre in Perth.
It's quarterfinals day today, so let's look at our first quarterfinal on the cards. It's Mervyn King who will take on Greg Harlow. Let's now go live ringside with Richard Maddison.
Well, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, on the blue portable rink, and it's quarterfinals day. Let's bring your players on. Former Scottish Open champion, Commonwealth Games medalist, 7 World Bowls Tour titles, ranked at number 11. Let's welcome from England, Mervyn King. Well, up against Mervyn, ladies and gentlemen, he's previously won this event no less than 3 times. He's a former world indoor singles and pairs champion, 10 World Bowls Tour titles to his credit. It's the world number 2, England's Greg Harlow.
Well, thank you very much there, Richard. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back here to Perth in Scotland for this quarterfinals day. Great game up this morning. Mervyn King, Greg Harlow. We're in for a treat of bowls, I think, this morning, Janice.
I do indeed. Both of these players have been playing very, very well. In particular, Mervyn has been drawing exceptionally well. Greg's been playing a very attacking game, so I think it could be very interesting how this keys up. I do apologise, viewers, for that crackling noise. We've been having a few problems in the stadium with some static, so I got deafened as much as you did there, to be fair, but yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, Jason.
Certainly is. Just looking at the head-to-heads, both of these players have played each other 4 times on the tour, and it's 2 games apiece, so it's evenly matched. And just looking ahead for the rest of today, all the quarter-final games are all 50-50 on the head-to-heads, Janice.
Yes, I believe so. I had a quick glance at those this morning, Jason. I think we're in for an interesting game of bowls. Nice to see both players out there just sharing a bit of a smile. They're great friends. They've played together in events in the past as pairs and been friends for a lot of years, these two. So it could be very, very interesting how this game pans out. It's like I say, Mervyn King has played exceptionally well so far. Played his drawing game. He's known as King of the Draw out there. He beat John Carswell in the opening game right down to the last end of a tie-break. And then he made short work of Darren Burnett in the last 16 in straight sets. Greg Harlow, his first game, he beat Alex Elwell from Australia in a very nail-biting tight game. And then yesterday he took out Jamie Chesney. So that's what set up an All-England quarter-final here.
Yeah, Greg was last game on last night. He was playing with his green bowls then, played very well with the green bowls. Mervyn swapped back to his red bowls. Mervyn's played obviously 3 games here this week and had to change bowls each time. So each player has their own favourite set of bowls, but they're all good enough to be able to swap and change.
As you mentioned, evenly matched really with World Bowls Tour titles. Our statisticians have worked out all the figures for us, Jason, and sent them up to us today. And Greg Harlow's won 10 World Bowls Tour titles, Mervyn King 7. Mervyn, certainly in the early years of the World Bowls Tour, was very, very dominant. And of course, all these youngsters coming into the equation now. Mervyn's still very young at heart. Great bowl here from Greg Harlow. What a fantastic opening end from the world number 2, Greg Harlow.
Certainly is. As they were having their 30 minutes practice session, a lady came out of the audience and presented Greg with a lucky piece of heather.
Ball, 1.5 inches, 4 inches on the front one.
Yes, it was nice to see, because of course these Guys are both English, and it's a very, very strong Scottish crowd here, which is fair enough. It would be the same if we were in England, but a lady presented Greg with a lucky piece of heather, we believe. Greg won this title back to back in 2015 and 16. Very comfortable playing here, enjoys coming to Perth and enjoys the Scottish International Open. It's one of his favourite tournaments. Mervyn King won the title back in 2010. So, star-studded lineup for you here on quarter-final day. Day 6 at the Scottish International Open 2019. He's down a good line again here, Jason. Very good. We must ask him what he's had for breakfast.
Well, that certainly is really good.
4 green.
Well, 4 green and 4 really good greens. This isn't easy for Mervyn. The target's not big. He's got his own short bowl there. He'll be probably looking to arrive at this probably down the backhand. Yeah, down the backhand we wait, looking to get to the front green bowl. If you can just play that onto the jack. He's in the area.
Very
nice
close.
And solid. He's been unlucky, but it's still a very good bowl.
Good saver.
1 shot, Greg Harlow.
Great saver. Cut that down to 1 shot.
Yeah, he was a little bit unlucky there. Just needed it just slightly more full in the face, and the jack would have just passed all those bowls. But saves 3.
We played 2 sets of 9 ends here at the World Bowls Tour ranking events, and if necessary, a 3-end tie break. Didn't see a tie break yesterday. I think we might see 1 or 2 today, Jason.
Strange, really, Janice. We've played nearly 30 games of bowls, and we've only had 4 tie breaks, and very, very unusual.
Jack length 26 metres.
Again, great opener from Greg. Certainly got out the blocks early today. Often players really don't like playing last game on one day and then first game the following day. It's just the way that the schedule has worked for Greg. Good reply from Mervyn.
Just shows how much it means to these 2 players. Full concentration, some great bowls being played. Just slipped past.
Mentioned also about the importance of ranking points here at the Scottish International Open. Both these players, obviously, they've got to the quarterfinals, so we gain valuable ranking points. Greg Harlow, currently world number 2.
Your nearest ball is 14 inches, the other one is 20.
Yeah, Mervyn's currently 11, provisionally 7, so he's just climbing his way up there. Greg sits at 2.
Yes, he had a couple of years, 3-4 years back, Mervyn, where he seemed to hit on some really strong first round games and just came up second best, but certainly the last 2 or 3 years he's got back to fighting form, and he's in the latter stages of events.
2 inches shorter Jack Eye.
Mervyn King from Norfolk. His good lady wife Suzanne is here supporting him. In fact, she had a little bit of a roll on the rink last night. Mervyn was practicing. I said, Suzanne, go on and show him how it's done. So She had a few ends out there. She said to me, "Flip, that's quick." I said, "Exactly." A good player in her own right is Suzanne.
Might see a bit of a runner here from Greg. He's got all the position.
Yeah, it looks down the backhand here. A lot of the top players here preferring this backhand for both the timing bowl as well as the draw. Just playing just over the draw here, Greg.
Yes, just slightly under the line with a little bit of pace just to get underneath that short bowl.
Certainly watching it. Can it move now?
Oh, what a bowl this is.
What a great bowl.
Inch perfect.
You could tell from Greg's body language there, he knew he was in the area. Just finished absolutely perfect line, perfect weight.
1 green and a measure.
He missed them short bowls by millimetres, but that was enough. He knows his own ability, knows the line. Played a very difficult pace and executed that shot very well. Mervyn could play a draw, or he could play the both bowls away if he wanted to.
Going down the backhand, reaching bowl.
Down for the bowls or the jack. Just needs to hold up.
In the area.
Just not enough of it, I don't think.
Gone with it, but it's 2 shots to
2
Greg
shots,
Harlow.
Greg Harlow.
Of course, Greg's good lady wife's here as well, Kay. In fact, Kay and Susanna both stood together on the balcony in the players' area. Good friends, have been for many years. It's part of the nature of the tour as well. The players spend this time away from home, so it's nice to have the partners with them to give them some support.
Jack length 26 metres.
Sticking with the 26-metre jack that's been very good for him. Looks down a tidy track again here.
Yeah, just 18 inches short, centre of the ring.
Good reply from Mervyn. It's interesting as the last 6 days have gone on, Jason, that
14-inch gap.
forehands in both directions for the right-handed players have become very swingy hands. And most players seem to be playing backhand now.
That's right, Janice. I think this backhand, it's the slightly faster of the forehands. It's a bit more forgiving. The only thing is with this backhand, if you get just a little bit wide, it can just stick 4 feet wide sometimes. But the players are aware of that, obviously. All 3 bowls centre of the rink there.
Just needs to start slowing up this bowl of Mervyn's.
1 red.
Still just a 1 down, Greg, so just alter your delivery just by a couple of feet.
It's all on pace.
Down a great line again.
Well, chance for Mervyn. Just get down to that last bowl of Greg Harlow's. Sit back for a 2.
Doesn't want to set Greg up a target, because in Greg's game last night against Jamie Chesney, he was absolutely bang on the money with every run replayed.
That's perfect. Makes 2, doesn't make it any bigger.
anybody new to the sport, these are two of the players it's well worth watching. Their deliveries, Greg is smooth as silk, very slow delivery, but very consistent. Mervyn King's probably got what you'd call a textbook delivery.
7-inch gap.
He was unlucky there, Greg. I wasn't sure whether he was just going to fall down and roll round that bowl.
Hand resting on the left knee there as Mervyn delivers this bowl. Gets to Greg's bowl and just sits it out. That's what he's looking for.
Yeah, he gets a touch of the jack as well. That'd be very good. Just needs to bend now. Oh, well played. Great bowl.
2 shots, Mervyn King.
Some excellent bowls being played here in this first quarter-final match.
Yes, the winner of this game would face the winner of the Paul Foster MBE versus Robert Paxton game in the semi-finals tomorrow afternoon. As we mentioned before, great lineup here in the quarter-finals. We start again at 1 o'clock with Paul Foster versus Robert Paxton. Then we have Nick Brett versus David Gawley MBE. And the final game on defending champion world #1 Stuart Anderson versus England's Les Gillett. Feast of bowls for you here on day 6 at the Scottish International Open. Been going to Perth now for 12 years. A fantastic venue, very welcoming. Very friendly up here in Scotland.
Certainly is. Just looking to get down to his own, or a little touch on the jack if he can just reach up. Well played again. Greg just 2 feet short.
2.5 feet.
Slightly tighter line than his first bowl.
Too red.
Dropped an awful lot of weight as well, so chance here now for Mervyn King just to apply this pressure.
Quite a loose end from Greg Harlow. That's the time when you've got to take your chances. Doesn't want to create a target for Greg, but Greg's bowl's being short means he's nothing behind to reach and change anything.
Three.
That's not finished bad. Just
No.
a foot away from the jack line, 3 shots. Greg will play straight through this. Or just a nice backhand draw.
Sticking with the draw, I think if this had been last night, I think Greg was very attacking last night. But he doesn't want to leave any room for Mervyn. He knows how good Mervyn is on the draw.
He can just get down to this back red bowl, doesn't want the hole.
Yeah,
That's well
good
played.
bowl. Again, that's what these quality of players can do. They can adjust so well if they've made a mistake with the bowl.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch Greg last night. He definitely had a gameplay in mind, came out, you know, very, very attacking, and it paid off, Janice. He played it very well.
He did. He didn't let Jamie Chesney settle at all. He was in the area with all his running bowls.
Yeah, and Jamie played well. He just had a little bit of bad luck, to be fair. That's what happens sometimes.
Now Mervyn, as this bowl starts to slow, it will start to bend. Don't think it's going to do enough.
Had to give it a chance, get down to the green bowl or turn the jack, so spare shot here for Greg.
Yeah, repeat of delivery.
So smooth there. Gets them away nice and smooth all the time. He's on a decent track. Just needs to make the trip.
Pace. Can you run, Greg?
Just the pace. You'll be pleased with that though. It's
One
looking
shot,
bleak.
Greg Harlow.
Packed audience today at Perth. I believe there's no tickets available for either day, so stay nice and warm and dry and keep tuned in to us here. We'll cover every bowl played for you over this week.
Shot length 23 metres.
So Greg shortening this up to the minimum length jack, which is 23 metres. Full length, of course, 29.5 metres on this portable ring. Another great start.
Bernie Hill, our match official for this game. Our marker, umpire is Dan Blewett, and on the shot clock is Francis Fletcher.
Great reply from Mervyn. That's a shot bowl.
Last ball. 8 inches.
8 inches of room to draw the shot.
Yeah, it's nothing for these guys.
Certainly isn't.
You'll know if he just rests his own bowl, Jason. He's got a good chance of getting shot if it just rests off it, sits back in the area.
Just needs to get over the top of this red bowl.
Very close. A
Brilliant.
great bowl. Is it going to sit down? Yep.
1 green.
Yeah, there's a good bowl there from Greg Harlow. Just an arriving draw. Looking to punch his own bowl into the head, or a clean jack. I think he's just going to be underneath. Oh, well.
Might have taken the jack back forward to his own bowl. Bernie will just sort out the delivery of Mervyn's has actually gone off the back edge.
Yeah, it's gone off the side confines, so that'll be a dead bowl, even though it touched the jack.
So Greg
Oops.
just asking for
One
the
red.
position. One red, yes, it's gone back up the rink.
Mervyn shaking his head.
Not the plan, but we'll take it for sure.
Will he hit the target? That's all you can do. Chance for Greg to turn this jack.
Yeah, just needs to repeat his last delivery. Be perfect for it. Looks close. Needs to run. Needs to run
He was
now.
on fire this
they're
morning.
great.
Absolutely amazing this morning.
Yeah, I must remember to ask Kay what he had for breakfast.
Favour this ball shot here. 5-inch gap.
Tend to find that with the top players, Jason, as a tournament goes on. If you're going to catch them, you need to catch them in the opening rounds, because as they get settled and get further into a tournament, they start to bring their A game to the fore.
Certainly do. This isn't far away neither. This can get down to the jack or the bowl solid. Oh, he's found the gap. Dearie me.
Wow, that's very unfortunate.
Still 3 red. 3 green, sorry. This one here.
That's very unlucky indeed, and it's also left a count of 3. Greg will play to the last bowl of Mervyn King's. Just wants to pass it.
Oh, well played, Greg.
Yep.
Couldn't have gone up and placed that any better, really.
This is difficult.
He hasn't got the clean jack now, Mervyn. I think he's having a good look at it. Doesn't want to drop 3 shots here, or this first set starts drifting away. 9 end sets.
Mervyn can just get rid of at least 2 of these shots.
Going for the neat draw. Down a very good track again.
Just needs to bend.
Three shots, Greg Harlow.
Well, you can't say that Mervyn King's playing badly out there, but Greg certainly brought his A game out this morning.
Yeah, that's a big turnaround there. Mervyn was very unlucky. He would have got the jack slightly fuller, he'd have come with it. And it'd been a lot different score line, but good change of tactics there from Greg, playing that minimum length jack. He played 4 really good bowls.
It's going that bit further again this time. I mean, that shows that a player is very confident.
Jack length 27.5 metres.
If you're just struggling a bit, you'll always try and stick to the same length of jack and just play yourself into a game, but Greg's shaking it a little bit with different lengths here, so shows he's really confident out there.
All rinks play slightly different in different directions. You know, just because you're playing really well to a 23 metre length jack in one direction doesn't mean you can get the same kind of a line in the other direction. So that's why Greg may be just playing slightly further in this direction, may think the hands are slightly more consistent.
Yes, it's quite a nice backhand draw down the side of the seating stands here. It's very fair. It's still running very, very quickly. A lot of the players are saying it's quite a surprise at 6 days into an event that the surface hasn't really slowed down. Slowed down a tad, but I'd only say it's gone from being 19 to 20 seconds to probably 18 to 19 seconds, Jason. It's not slowed down a lot. Good here. That just seemed to pick up a little bit of pace when it passed the jack. Better here from Mervyn.
1 red.
My last ball, please.
Your last ball, 20 inches.
So looking at just beating this back bowl of Mervyn's. Needs to run.
Looks in the area, all on his pace. Again in a little bit of trouble, Greg Harlow. Mervyn will look to pile the pressure on here, try and draw a closer bowl in. Greg's already walking back down the rink, ready to play his bowl.
Yeah, Mervyn will want to get the 3 back that he's just dropped as quick as he can. This needs to run as well. Well,
30 seconds to deliver this bowl, Greg Harlow, from Mervyn's last delivery coming to rest. They have 5 timeouts they can call of 60 seconds. Well, this has got a lot of work to do to get back to centre. It's
good
trying.
pace. Just giving up again. Important spare shot for Mervyn now. 18 inches of room.
Timeout called. Mervyn has 4 timeouts remaining.
Just wondering whether Mervyn's seen something there.
Well, we're end 6. If he thinks there's an opportunity to get a count out of here. Not sure how many holes without Greg's bowl.
Yeah, I was just wondering that without the green bowl at the back of the rink. I'm just wondering how many it would bring in.
He's certainly playing down the forehand, Jason, so that's what he must have seen. Now, doesn't want to trail this Jack.
Just doing missing it. Oh, he's been unlucky again. Played a very good bowl, but he's just got a piece of the Jack, so it's just going to be the one. He's having a little bit of bad fortune, Janice.
He has. He's played some really good bowls, and just by that millimetre of difference in contact has it's just been against him a little bit this morning so far. We say all the time, once you certainly get to the quarter-final stages of these events, it's all about fractions. Quarter of an inch can make all the difference.
We're going slightly further.
Track then 28.5 metres.
This is the only all-English tie of the quarterfinals. All the other quarterfinals are England versus Scotland, so I'm sure the crowd will be gearing themselves up for supporting the Scottish players this afternoon.
Not seen any flags come out yet.
No, there's normally 1 or 2 out. Good opening bowl from Mervyn King. 3 ends left to play in this first set, in this first quarter-final on day 6.
I think Mervyn realistically needs to win all of these last 3 ends, unless he can somehow just conjure up a count. He had a chance in the last end. Here comes number 2.
Yes, that's all he can really do, just keep putting them close, put the pressure on Greg. There's not a huge target there. Just playing the draw again, trying to just reach just past these bowls. A little touch on the Jack, he's very close. He's very close. What a bowl, Greg Harlow.
Played that to perfection. Little tuck on the Jack. Playing the shot.
3-inch gap.
Mervyn must be wondering what he's got to do here, Jason. Mervyn's playing really good bowls and just not getting the results because Greg Harlow's coming up with the really big bowls.
Certainly is. He's on top form this morning. Not giving Mervyn much of a chance. Just slightly overplayed. Well, Mervyn King line 2 seconds. Can somehow just get down to this green bowl. Can only see a little bit of it. Can draw to it and sit back on the Jack as well. That's another option. Playing the tighter line, looking to just chip this green bowl away from the jack. Just needs to stay up now.
Close. Oh, can it just sit in, rest in?
Close for shot, slightly favour red.
Well, he may have just counted with that bowl. He was under the line, but he's got a good result. It's in the area. Greg's just going to have a quick look at this, so he'll need to take a timeout. Shot clock ticking away.
Timeout called.
Yep, down to
Greg has
5
4
seconds.
timeouts remaining.
Used it well. You may as well let the clock tick away before you use it. So Greg Harlow arriving down the forehand, looking for a little bit of a connection in this head.
Just looks under.
One shot, Mervyn King.
Yeah, one to Mervyn.
He's dragging this difference
Four,
back
7, 7
in
ends.
ones. 3 shots in it now. 2 ends to play opening set.
Yeah, he'll be wanting to score probably at least a 2 here to give himself a chance. 3 may be just too much of an ask on the last end, especially the way Greg is playing. He's playing very well, very confident.
Here the players having a good natter there, like I say, very good friends. It's hard work when you
Shot
play
length, 27
a
metres.
great friend. You've just got to put the professional head on when you're on the rink.
27 metres. Well, that's certainly a good opening bowl there from Mervyn.
Yeah, it's just what he needed. Greg again favouring this backhand. Most of the top players seem to have favoured the backhand.
Just slightly overplayed that. So chance again.
How far through my first bowl?
5 feet. One red.
Greg's last bowl through, please.
10-inch gap.
Well, it's a 27 metre length jack. That's how we time the speed of the carpet, Janice. And I've timed the first bowl of Mervyn's at 18.5 seconds. So that just shows you how fast this carpet's still playing. It was playing at 19.2 when it was first laid. Now 18.5, which is unreal really, because it's the 6th day.
It is, it's a portable rink, so normally it does settle as the days go on, and you lose 2 or 3 seconds sometimes. Certainly over the World Championships, which is a 3-week event, it does settle as the 3 weeks go on, but Amazing the pace it's stayed at here in Perth.
Touch
Very
on the
close.
jack.
Very close here, Greg.
Just gently, gently. Oh, he's got the double bounce.
He's been unlucky at this end, just taking the jack through to Mervin's.
1 red.
Could have done with just arriving on Mervin's bowl first before the jack. That would have taken that little bit of extra pace off the bowl. It's a good shot, but he's been unlucky. Swings and roundabouts. This isn't easy for a spare for Mervin. Likes his backhand.
He's on a wide line with this, all on his pace now. Start to swoop in now. Looks good.
What a bowl.
Fantastic.
Well played.
Quality play here by
2 red.
both players.
Greg will attack this now. He's got the best back. 5 feet past the jack. So forehand runner. Nice and firm. How's your look this time, Greg? Good it. Now it depends on how far this red ball travels. Mervin asking it to stop. It has done.
1 shot, Mervyn King.
So another single for Mervyn King.
5-7 after
Going to
8
this
ends.
last end. 2 shots behind. He can tie this set. They get half a point each for a tied set.
It's certainly been nip and tuck all the way, Jason. Some fantastic bowls so far by both players. Certainly an element of hush now in the crowd as they know that this is a huge
28.5 metres.
end for both players. Mervyn King counts 2 shots, he ties this opening set.
Yes, that'll be his first aim, just to try and get too close and then work on the third. It's important not to try and lose this first set. It's a good opening bowl. Greg won't allow anything to build up. He'll attack it early and get rid of it.
Sounds like it's raining a bit outside, Jason. I think we're nice and warm and dry here in the Jewess Centre in Perth.
Certainly is. It sounds very heavy on the ceiling. This is a good reply here. 18 inches through. So Mervyn, can you slot in this second shot that you need? Unlucky Mervyn, just a piece of the jack.
Last ball. Oh, 1 down. 1 red.
Well, Greg will be looking just to beat his
No,
first delivery.
The nearest one is 2 inches short of jack high, and the second one is 8 inches short. Timeout called.
Yeah, Greg does right to take a time out here. It's all about angles, and I think he'll just want to see for himself where the red ball to the right hand side of your screen as you're looking now is positioned. Can he use it to get back to the jack, or is he better to just go full out for the jack or bowl?
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether he's going to just play straight at it. Jack in the ditch will kill this end off. Well, he's played into this head, but he's just slightly wide. This ball will stay on the back of the rink. It's a yard from going off.
Yeah, I think that's why I went to have a look, Jason, to just decide which what pace to play. It's a good receiving bowl there now.
Chance for Merv, he can draw in for 2. A slight touch on his own bowl will release that jack enough to make the 3. Trouble is then it'll make a big target. Just needs to swing now. Will it get back? It's not going to.
A lot of pressure on his last bowl to draw the 2 shots, but at the moment there's only 1 green bowl in the head for Greg. I think he'll be wanting to try and rid of some of these bowls. Take the danger away.
Yeah, if Greg can play a very good draw bowl here, it'll make it very difficult for Mervyn. Needs to run.
It needs to be in the head.
Well, there's a chance here for Mervyn. If Mervyn can just arrive down the backhand with a tiny bit of pace, he can just turn the green bowl over once, makes the 3, gets down to his own shot bowl, slight touch on it, will make 3.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 options down this backhand, Jason, even if he gets a thick edge off his last delivery that's to the left hand side of your screen there. The ideal is removing the green bowl, and there's a chance, and when there's a chance you've got to take your chance.
Yeah, decide what pace you're playing. Are you playing just a touch or the bowl away? I think the bowl away is the easier pace to play, which he's playing down the backhand.
Certainly watching it, Jason. Needs to start
Just a
moving
bend.
now.
It's not gonna
Needs to
bend.
start moving now.
Well, Greg Harlow's going back to play this bowl, so he mustn't think he's a definite one moving.
No, he's carrying it.
Carrying it.
Well, that was by the slimmest of margins that the world number 2, Greg Harlow, takes that opening set 7-6. Been a great set of bowls that from both players. Greg came up with some really amazing bowls in the first 4-5 ends to take a convincing 7-2 lead, but Mervyn King, some exceptional bowls to drag the set all the way back with a chance, and then just lost it on the final end.
Jack length 25.5 metres.
Well, it all starts again now. Second set, 9 ends to play. Mervyn King starting off with a really good bowl.
25 inches.
Now, great reply there from Greg.
How short is Greg's, please?
8-inch gap. 1 green.
The last ball, please, how short?
Last ball, 2.5 feet short.
Thank you.
Jack high.
Just pulling up short, just wanted to get round that red bowl and back to centre of the rink. Just needed a yard of pace. We'll do it on that hand.
Changing to the forehand here. It's great to hear that we've got so many viewers tuning in and listening. Thanks very much for your company. Number of comments coming through, I believe, on the streaming. Just to let everybody know, we don't receive that information through into the commentary area. It is received through to the production team. We don't have sight of any comments or questions, so our apologies if you feel we're not replying to you quickly. It's because we don't receive the questions. But thanks so much for your company, and do stay with us for every bowl that's sent here at the Dewars Centre in Perth for the Scottish International Open.
Well, Mervyn. Well, if Mervyn can just get down to his own, but is underneath this. Yeah, foot underneath the line. Looking for the plant or the jack down to the back. So Greg Arlo takes the opening shot in this second set.
0-1, first end. Jump around 23.5 metres.
Just a little bit of a disturbance in the crowd there. Greg just standing back while there's a gentleman just arriving to give a bit of support. Just taking his time getting into the stands. Greg's smiling up, saying don't rush, take your time. Great to see so many here in the auditorium supporting.
Yeah, it's quite nice that of Greg. Didn't let him disturb him. Understands, obviously, you know, someone slightly elderly just takes a little bit longer just to get settled into the seat.
Greg works a lot with bowlers and he's got a lot of fans out there, so quite appreciative of the fact that it takes a little bit of time sometimes for spectators to make their way into the stands. It hasn't affected Greg.
Eight inches. 8 inches.
Bernie Hill's first match official's duty in a quarter-final of a World Bowls Tour event. She's very quickly giving the players the information that they need. And trying not to take up any of the players' shot clock time as the official.
Yeah, it must be quite nervy. She's doing well for her first one. It's very different to the normal style of marking that should be used to. There's a lot going on. She's handling it well.
2 green.
Of course, every player is different. They have their own different styles, and a lot of the more seasoned officials, they are already aware of what their styles are, understand what their needs are. So
and anticipate in advance what a player's going to ask. Particularly, some of the players have different ways of asking questions, and as you mentioned, Jason, the seasoned, more experienced World Bowls Tour officials know that. But you've got to start somewhere, and Bernie's doing a cracking job out there so far this week.
Yeah, we'll just have a little look at this. Won't want to be dropping a count when you're a set behind. Red Ball looking very lonely.
Mervyn has 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, certainly doesn't want to play something too attacking and remove his own bowl. King of the draw. Might just try and draw this. Draws it down the backhand. He's got a chance of trailing the jack to Greg's bowls, so might opt to go down the forehand. Yeah, that's what he's looking for. I think that's a safer draw, Jason.
Get slightly better finish at this length, Janice, on the forehand. You can just tuck in and get to the jack or the second green bowl, or sit in for short. This is just lacking a bit of pace.
Yeah, he's tightened up the line though for Greg, playing the trail. Not just quite as easy, still possible, but just not quite as easy. Mind you, the man on the mat makes the tough look easy sometimes.
Certainly does. Has been doing this morning so far. Just needs to make the trip. To the backhand, slightly playing this over pace. He can just skirt the front bowls. Now he needs this back to the jack if he's going to get a result. Well, he's been on.
That was the danger of any backwards movement from the jack.
2 shots, Greg Harlow.
So same as Greg started out the opening set. After 2 ends, he leads 3-0. This is a set, of course, that Mervyn King's got to win to take us into a tie break. Still chatting away to each other there. You can probably pick that up on the speakers. It's nice to see.
Meters.
Greg's definitely preferring just a slightly longer length in this direction compared to the other. Playing just a few meters further.
My ball, please.
3 feet.
Done a nice line again, Greg. Have you made the adjustment on the weight? Seen a few times in this game where he's adjusted very well, and he has again here.
Mervyn will just follow this down. Can he make the adjustment needed? Doesn't want to let Greg pull away in this set. In the area, just needs to run. Oh, what a bowl. Match has just fallen away. Has done. So it's still Greg Harlow. He'll play the forehand now.
Said before, Mervyn King must wonder what he has to do in this game. He certainly couldn't have played much better.
Played each other twice in this event. First time in 2008 where Greg Harlow managed to win just on a last end of a tie break, and then Mervyn King got his own back in 2017 in the second round, where Mervyn won that in 2 straight sets.
Yes, of course, in 2017 Greg was defending champion as well, so it was considered one of the shocks at the time, but Mervyn was superb again, drawing bowls.
Mervyn looking to just get down to this green bowl. Just going to slip by, but it's going to finish in a very good position. Could have done with finishing just on the inside of that green bowl.
Well, again, just looking at that forehand draw, looks down a decent line, all about the weight. The danger for Mervyn here is if he just turns his own bowl onto the jack, Jason, he could push the jack through to Greg's 2 receiving bowls and go a lot worse.
Yes, he'll play slightly quicker because he doesn't want to just rock his own bowl and just to release the jack. Now needs his own bowl nice and firm, it's just going away.
One shot, Greg Harlow.
So it's another end that slips away from Mervyn King, and it's another end that the world number 2, Greg Harlow, takes a shot out.
Yeah, 4-0.
In the top 16 since back in 2002, Greg, both players been about, certainly played
24.5 metres.
this event all its 12 years. Years here at sunny Perth, but it doesn't sound too sunny out there at the moment, Jason.
Certainly doesn't. Sounds good weather for ducks. Yet again, another cracking bowl there for Greg Harlow.
It's ever so slightly off.
Good reply from Mervyn King as well.
Again, it's one of those, Jason, where he doesn't want to just reach his bowl because it'll just chip the jack out. So that's a good covering bowl.
Yes, it certainly is. You only have to just arrive on that bowl and the jack will travel 8 or 9 inches at least.
So that tells you that that's a shot that Mervyn King will be trying to play.
Needs to reach though. Another good effort, just that foot of pace.
Long green. Four inches short of jack high. Yeah, 1/8 of an inch.
It's really even more dangerous for Greg to chip on his own bowl. But he'll be aware of the danger, and it's just how best to cover that, Jason. I think the position of his last bowl has given him an option if Mervyn does get the green bowl. Gives him something just behind.
That's right, I'm not sure whether Mervyn will just play the forehand here and just try and chip the bowl across onto the shot bowl. Slightly underneath the line, they'll be looking for the shorter of the two red bowls. Is slightly wide, I think. There's a couple of options down the forehand. You can actually achieve the same result hitting that short red bowl. It can catch the outside of the nearest
7
green
feet.
bowl. We'll release the jack for one. Greg's bowls are well placed here because they're kind of forcing Mervyn to play a slightly harder pace.
None of these players are really worried by the shot clock now, Jason. They've become experienced in knowing when to take the timeouts. They're all aware how long it takes them to deliver a bowl. If this sits down, it gets second bowl.
2 green.
Superb bowl.
Mervyn's just looking at where the jack will travel. I don't think he's got the respot, so he can't afford to play. Well, he's got a bowl right down the back actually of the ring. He can actually play a little bit firmer now, Janice.
Yeah, he's got the respot. As you're looking at that ahead now, he's got the respot to the right-hand side of your screen. And best back that you see the bowl there at the back. That's the bowl he'll be wanting to try and
I think he's just looking.
get the jack too. Yeah.
If he's unlucky here, he could lose a 3 or a 4. I think that's what he's looking at. I think at this time of the game, you just got to take your chance. Just hit it nice and firm.
Choosing to go down the backhand.
Needs to bend.
Two shots, Greg Harlow.
Another 2 shots to the world number 2, Greg Harlow.
Set score 0-6 after 4 ends.
And there's only 5 ends left to play, Jason. It's imperative that Mervyn King scores at the next end, gets the jack back.
Yes, it's a big ask.
It's been a quite interesting route for Greg Harlow so far in this tournament. His opening game against Alex Elwell, he would even openly say himself he didn't play particularly well, and he managed to scrap his way really through that game. But he was outstanding with his running bowls and conversion shots last night against Jamie Chesney, and in this game he has been certainly master of the draw shot. So he's shown us a bit of everything this week, Greg.
Certainly has. Been very good all round.
Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Great lead bowl.
Greg Harlow on the outside of the mat just allows the ball just to bend more right at the end. This gets a miss, it'll come all the way back. Should be enough.
He's going for it here.
Wants the bowler, then the jack. Oh, he's been unlucky, just chipped the jack. A lot more room now though.
Yes, I don't think the jack's gone out of the side confines, so it'll be a tough ask to get to that down the board side. I think Greg will have to go across the rink here.
Players were saying it was slightly easier to find the spots on both backhands. The spots on the forehands are very, very tricky indeed. Greg will just look at getting one close. He can finish a yard under the jack on a good length, will be good for starters.
Well, again, he's not looking to count shots. Even a second bowl would be good. This is down a really good track. Crowd got a bit excited there. Thought he was going to put it into the side ditch. That's an excellent bowl.
Yeah, I just thought he could just get that yard away from the jack on a good length. I think the spectators saw that ball disappear underneath the advertising boards.
They were waiting for the clatter.
Waiting for it to reappear. Mervyn deciding to play across the rink. Just got to negotiate the front bowls, which are 5 yards short.
I just think, having seen where Greg's line was, I think Mervyn will probably know that the only way he can get shot out of this is to play it across the rink. This is all on pace.
Just slightly pushed through.
One green.
It's 4 feet heavy. Now Greg's line shot, I wonder whether he'll try and play something similar. Whether he'll play across the rink and get one closer, which he will do. Well, he's missed the front.
All on pace here. Jason looks down a very good line. Just hung off at the end there. I thought that would have swung nicely in.
Well, both green balls are a yard away from the jack. Mervyn could attempt to play these balls away.
Yeah, I think that's why he's just taking a bit of time just to make sure he chooses the shot right. He's no timeouts now, so it's a big decision here.
He could also, if he wanted to and felt brave, just slightly arrive at this down the backhand, look at getting onto the green balls, or just trickle the jack round to his own. Well, it's as wide as he dare be.
Looking for the bowls now, to rest the bowls. Doesn't want to go through the gap.
Nice and thick. Oh, it's wobbled past. He's been unlucky. He landed solid on that green bowl. That would have been enough for shot, but it's going to be 2 to Greg Harlow.
2 shots, Greg Harlow.
The score really in this second set doesn't reflect the game.
Set score
Mervyn's played some very, very good bowls, but Greg's just been on very good form in this second set.
It certainly has. He was unlucky there. 2 balls to sit on, and on another day he'd have hit it right. So 4 ends.
Track length 24.5 metres.
Well, the winner of this game will meet the winner of the next game this afternoon, which is Paul Foster MBE versus Robert Paxton. Old adversary of Greg Harlow's, Paul Foster, and he have had many a humdinger game here in the finals. They would be due to meet in the semi-finals here. I'm sure Englishman Robert Paxton will have something to say about that this afternoon. Some good games on the cards for the rest of today. can Mervyn King come up with some sort of miracle turnaround here to take us into a tie break?
3 feet.
Great adjustment from Greg again there. He's done that a few times here where he's just dropped a bowl a yard or 4 feet through or short, and he's really rectified that mistake with his next bowl.
That's right, he hasn't played many bad bowls, but when he has, like you say, Janice, he's been very quick to make the correction, and that's what it's all about. Mervyn again playing a good bowl, but just slipping past. That'll be Greg's jack, that last bowl.
Yeah, it's all on the pace now. He'll start to finish very quickly off this forehand. Looks decent, looks very decent.
Well, that just shows you how well Greg Harlow's playing.
He's on amazing form this morning.
One down the backhand and one equally as good down the forehand.
Mervyn trying to reach this, might get wrecked on the short bowls.
Well, that opens it up a little bit. Still not got much back cover.
Greg just looking to see where this jack might go through to. He has got the bowl behind now, the one that Mervyn just pushed through.
Green.
Just asking which bowl gets the back right hand side respot.
Timeout called. Greg has 2 timeouts remaining.
Greg doesn't really have to worry too much about his timeouts here. He's got a great lead in this second set, so a lot of players try and hang on to a couple of timeouts for if they go into the tie break. Greg doesn't have to worry about that at the moment.
No, 2's plenty. And just get past the red bowls.
Run for cover, Jason, here.
Yes, he doesn't need anything. Doesn't need anything extra in the head there. Just play down a wide line. Just wants to run about another yard.
Well, it splits the 2 red bowls to the left of your screen. I think he wanted it a little bit further than that.
Yes, about another 2 feet a yard. Unless he's maybe played it, if Mervyn caught the outside of the shot ball, just wondering whether the jack might have scooted completely sideways. Might have seen something. He's had a look at it. Not a lot on here for Mervyn, just to arrive and take your chance.
In the area.
How good's your luck this time? Well played.
Urging that bowl through, Mervyn there. And it's on the card. I think we've got to see something dramatic lengthwise here now, Jason. Just try and...
The trouble is in this direction here, Greg's been playing 27 and a half metres. So he's been playing 3/4 length in this direction now, so just wonder whether Mervyn may play something slightly shorter. To be fair, Greg's been playing very well at all lengths, so he's just got to play to his own length where he thinks he can start grouping some bowls together. Going for a full length. Matt's just in front of the tee.
Track length 29 metres.
29 metres, so just a metre short of full length.
Yeah, he's just slightly in front of the tee with his mat. Now down a good track again here, Greg. Just needs to slip past Mervin's bowl. Good here again. This is the thing with Greg today's. Anything you can do, I can do better, Mervin.
Yeah, he's really not let Mervin in this second set. Mervin's not played particularly bad, he's just had a little bit of bad luck, but Greg Harlow's definitely been the more consistent player.
Again, Mervin's in a position that he has to count at this end, but ideally would like to count a multiple.
How far short is Mervin's last ball, please?
The last ball is 12 inches short of jack high.
Might force Greg to swap to the forehand here. Now it's all about pace.
Just needs to get back now.
Start to swing in now.
One green.
It's not a bad position.
Maybe looking at arriving onto his own bowls just to try and promote Greg's out. The head is wide.
Well, as it stands at the moment, the world number 2 will go into the semi-finals tomorrow afternoon. He's got one bowl left as Mervyn King. Greg's got this bowl and a reply bowl, and he's on outstanding form this morning. Again, down a very good track, all about his pace. All about the pace if this reaches past the red bowls.
Well, just slightly short of what he wanted, so there's still a chance here for Mervyn. Just needs to arrive solid onto the short bowl.
Has
Plant
got
it on
to
the
be
green.
holding shot, Jason, when this ball comes to rest. One is enough for Greg Harlow to go through to the semi-finals.
That's what the player can see. Down the backhand we wait. Definitely tighter. Needs to hold up now.
Looks under the line.
Gone.
Looks under the line. I think you can shake hands, Greg. Well, fantastic performance there from Greg Harlow. Mervyn King didn't really do anything wrong, but Greg Harlow took the opening set in the narrowest of margins, 7-6, and then absolutely ran away with it in the second set. So it's Greg Harlow that's the first player through to tomorrow's semi-finals.
That's end of play for this morning's session. Joining us again on the BBC Sports site at 1 o'clock for the next quarter-final. Paul Foster MBE against Robert Paxton. We'll see you at 1 o'clock.